Whitetail Cribs is back, and boy does it feel great to say that. This year we traveled to a couple different states, including Tennessee, to go visit none other than Spook Spann and his 4,000 square foot trophy room full of mounts from all across the globe. What makes this room special is the amount of giant whitetails that he has packed into that 7,000 square feet, and these are 3 of his top non-typicals.
This is a deer that I haven't gone public with yet, because when I killed this deer was about the time when we stopped airing Spook Nation. I'm really excited. We're gonna do some super special stuff with this deer with the 11th commandment. To our knowledge, this is the largest whitetail ever shot on video with a bow in the wild. Right here, like he is, he's 282. And he's got both main beams broke off, and he's got a ball club right here broke off. I had him, just my estimation, if he'd had everything, he would have been 295 to 298. I hunted this deer a gazillion times. I was worried the neighbor was gonna kill him, was hunting him. I'm pretty sure that a separate neighbor lady hit this deer with a car. It's what broke his main beams. Cape was a mess, his hair he had road rash, it looked like. It was just pretty sure that's what broke him up. Not a huge frame, but just an incredible buck. And the hunt was priceless. He followed a doe in. He stood and watched her forever. We had ozonics in the tree. She walked downwind, never knew we were there. Footage is awesome. It's right over the shoulder. You can see the arrow come right out of the bow into the deer. He goes up on the hillside, and we end up watching him fall. Just a dream hunt of a lifetime. So this is a really unique, super cool buck I call high, wide, and heavy, for obvious reasons. This deer was really unique. I found out about this deer was on a big cattle ranch down in Texas. The old guy that owned this ranch had seen this deer for several years. He and his wife had actually tried to kill this deer the year before and never did see it while they were hunting. It was a unique situation where there was an old mining pit on this place that had water in it. It's where a lot of the animals, including cattle, turkeys, javelina, a lot of animals went to water there. Several of the times through the course of the years when he had actually seen this buck was around that water hole. This deer had actually been seen a few other times by other people a few miles away. I actually got this old cattle rancher to do a testimony for me that it was a wild deer, because obviously look of him, he would be questionable. But I just couldn't resist the opportunity because of these 2 monster drop clubs. I mean, which just make him, not that he's not cool anyways, but make him super extra special. We strategized on this deer. I asked the rancher if he had a farm hand that could go out there and feed twice a day around that water hole just to create more and more activity there. He said he could. He had seen this deer most of the time in a part of November. He said, especially if it's hot and dry, it'll be our best chance. He wouldn't let me bow hunt. He said, this deer's gonna die by a bullet or you're not gonna get to hunt. He said, I don't want to take any chances on something happening, which, I understood. Obviously, I would have loved to have bow hunted him. But he said, he felt like we were only going to get one opportunity at this deer, and he didn't want to take any chances. He actually set me up a redneck blind about, 150 yards away from probably 100 yards away from the water hole, probably 150 from the edge of the bush where the deer ended up coming out at. We hunted, 6, 7, 8 days. It was hot, it was dry. We were seeing a lot of deer. Saw a couple, pretty nice bucks in the 160s, 170. It was funny, I think it was on the 7th or 8th afternoon. It's hot. I got on shorts, no shirt on, sweating in the blind. I mean, hot as blue blazes, but was actually good for the way we were hunting. I'm not a water hole hunter as a general rule, but in places where, we need to, that's what you do. I'll never forget it. I saw a pretty nice, 160 10 pointer coming in through the mesquite. And I told JD, my cameraman, I said, hey, here comes a pretty nice buck. We're trying to get B-roll and stuff. And so he starts filming, and I don't know what I was doing. I looked down, I don't know whether I was getting my binoculars or what I was doing. And JD starts, he starts hyperventilating. He's like, there he is. Yeah. And I look up and just seeing him, he jumps the fence. I can't remember if he jumped it or kind of hopped over it. It was kind of a low barbed wire fence there. He was just amazing. Seeing the frame and the double drops, and he was just super nervous acting, didn't even act like the other deer. And I didn't waste much time. I wanted to get as much footage of him as possible, but I was just wary that he was going to stick around very long. And so it didn't take us long. I went ahead and shot him. But just a tremendous animal. Gross 279, buck of 100 lifetimes with the double drop clubs. I think he's 33 inches outside. Just incredible browse, super cool deer. And hey, it'll be one of the funnest, most memorable hunts of my life. Killing a deer like that and seeing him walk in was priceless. This is the 2007 Down and Dirty Kansas 230. Best hunt of my life. Spot and stalk, shot him at 6 yards with a bow. One of my dreams of my life was always to be on the cover of North American Whitetail, which here's that article that Jeff Murray did for me years ago. And then being on the cover of Monster Bucks was also a super highlight and just an incredible blessing and privilege of my life. And real exciting getting to watch Bill Jordan and David Blanton's expression the first time they ever saw the footage of this hunt. This is the absolute, without a doubt, best hunt of my life. I went in to set up a stand that afternoon and saw him, ended up stalking in. He came, followed a doe by us, shot him at 6 yards on the ground on video. This buck had some controversy about it. We already addressed that on the podcast. I really appreciate the guys allowing me to tell the story of what actually happened. It was, in my opinion, very ridiculous targeting technicality charge. I wish that I would have never accepted the misdemeanor plea. You know, I chose to do it over the expense of what it was going to cost to challenge it in federal court. I'll just give a little bit of background again. You know, I had a tag. I bought the tag I was told to purchase. They finally, and at the end of all of it, said that because I had not yet actively participated in the farming practices on the farm that I had leased to purchase, the tag wasn't valid for that particular piece of property. And it all started over a disgruntled person who tried to get me to go in business with him that worked for Game and Fish. And, you know, I basically, you know, felt like that me and my family were targeted and harassed over a technicality just because the deer became so famous, so well known. This is the deer that catapulted my hunting career to another level, because what you can never deny when you watch the footage is that you will never see a person, as long as you live, that it was as excited as I was. Sorry. But regardless of what anybody wants to say, I'm just as proud of this deer today as I was the day I killed him. It's the greatest hunt of my life.